Hi there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at the thoughts he's had about you that have never been expressed. So, before we get into your pile selection, I'd just like to thank and give a quick word to my sponsorship, Keen. I started to feel like me and my partner have gotten a bit disconnected in our relationship, so when the Keen sponsorship came along, I thought it would be a good time to get a reading from one of their tarot readers. I asked about the future with my partner, and she predicted that our relationship would deepen through the upcoming months, and while receiving the reading, I couldn't see how, but when time came to pass, I could start to see what she said about our relationship was true. Last year, we dedicated a lot of energy into our careers, so we barely had any time to spend together as we were busy most hours of the day. So we planned ahead to take a break. It allowed us to spend more time and to be in each other's presence. We got to connect and get closer to each other again, just like the reader predicted. Ever since her prediction came true, I realized we need to make quality time a priority. And since then, our connection and bond has only gotten stronger and grown. We found our way back to each other and strengthened our connection again, so what she said definitely resonated with what happened. The love reading I got was very beautiful and sweet, and every detail mentioned was accurate and actually made sense. So I'm grateful for Keen for providing such good readings and gifted psychics, and would definitely recommend their readers to anyone. So if you would like to know more about your life or anything in general, Keen connects you with talented psychics, tarot readers, and astrologers like myself, who are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can always get a reading whenever it suits you. All you have to do is create an account and you'll be able to choose from the hundreds of readers who are online right now. These readers all have their own unique specialties and gifts, so whether it be about your love life or what to do next in your career or just life in general, they are able to provide a deeper understanding of your situation and how to navigate it from there. You can choose whichever reader best suits your needs, and you'll be able to connect with them via phone call or text chat. It's always best to get a personal psychic reading if you'd like more accurate information on your situation, because it is directed only to your energies. Now here's your chance to get a personalized reading from Keen. As a new customer on Keen, you can try your first 5 minutes for only $1. Go to trykeen.com/psychicsciencetarot or click the link in my description box to receive a discount on your first reading. Thank you, Keen, for bringing this partnership opportunity and for sponsoring today's video. That's trykeen.com/psychicsciencetarot or click the link in my description box below to get your own personalized reading today at a huge discount. So getting back to your pile selection, we have 3 piles to choose from. For pile number 1, we have the blue lace agate heart. For pile number 2, we have the orange calcite crystal, and then for pile 3, we have rose quartz. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. Pick whichever one you are most drawn to. Hopefully by now you have picked a pile. If not, you can pause the video. Once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, and then I'll see you at your reading. Hi there, my pile number 1s. If you chose this blue lace agate crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at the thoughts he's had about you that have never been expressed. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Your card is the King of Swords, so we'll see in a bit what other cards come out with this. Before we get started, I just have 2 things I'd like to say. If you enjoy tarot content and if you want to stay up to date with what I post daily, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button. It does help my channel a lot. And also, I do have a limited amount of space for personal readings available, so if you'd like to book with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. So let's go ahead and shuffle your cards and see what comes up for you. So Spirit Guides of pile number 1, Spirit Guides of pile number 1s, the thoughts he's had about them that have never been expressed for the person on their mind. The thoughts he's had about them that have never been expressed for the person on their mind. So we have the Five of Pentacles. And we have the Queen of Swords. We have the Eight of Swords. The Five of Swords. And the Four of Cups. At the back of the deck, we do have the Two of Pentacles. So, as I am in this person's energy, what I do want to say before I start this reading as a disclaimer is it seems this person has a lot to heal from. No wonder I was drawn to blue lace agate because it is a healing crystal, a very soothing crystal. I think this person has a lot of trauma that kind of keeps them stuck in this repetitive cycle that isn't helping them, and you may not fully be aware of it. You may be somewhat aware of it but not fully aware of it. So I just want to say that as a disclaimer. Don't take what comes out personally, but this is what I'm seeing here. So basically, I see that for some of you, this person grew up with very controlling parents, or just grew up around people that were very controlling, very forceful of their ideas, opinions, things like that. And this person sort of had to make themselves small to be more tolerated in their family or wherever they grew up. And it's almost like this person never grew up knowing it was okay to express their needs. Physically, emotionally, mentally, whatever it is, like they needed certain things but was not allowed to, or never knew they could express those needs. And I think during their childhood, a lot of their needs weren't met. Even if they didn't grow up in a controlling or traumatic type of environment, there's just something about their needs not being met within childhood. And it's sort of like more emotional needs. It's sort of like now today, they think they don't need that emotional sort of need they have, but they actually do, but they deny it themselves. So I kind of see this person sometimes reading into things too deeply. So let's say you say something and it was never said with bad intentions, but now they're picking apart your words and reading into it too deeply, thinking it has some subcontext to it, but it doesn't, as an example. Or let's say they are overthinking constantly about what you're doing behind their back, but you're not giving them any reason to not trust you. But maybe they have a certain type of trust issue from the pain they've been through. It's almost like this person overanalyzes things too much where there's nothing to be overanalyzed. And I just saw the angel number 444 and 1221. So this is a self-protection coping mechanism that our brains do in order to prevent us from getting hurt, especially if we have betrayal trauma. And that's what I see with the Five of Swords. Maybe this person has betrayal trauma or trust issues, or they've never felt like they could truly rely or count on the people around them. Maybe they didn't have loyal people around them in a lot of their life. So now they overanalyze things where there's not even something there. So it's almost like I'm looking for clues into something that's not even there, where there's nothing behind it. You know what Spirit is showing me? You know, at night when you think there's something in the corner of the room and then you switch on the lights and it's just your coat? It's kind of like this person makes up imaginary scenarios that isn't truly happening in their head and overanalyzes it and fears it happening to the point where it actually makes them feel mentally stuck in that past situation where they're ruminating over something that doesn't exist. So I think the thoughts that he's had that have never been expressed is certain emotional needs he has that has never been told to you. Like, let's say he needs attention and care, but he never tells you. Or let's say he wants a hug from you, but he never tells you. That's kind of the vibe it's giving me, but it doesn't just have to be emotionally, but I'm just giving that as an example. Let's say he's hungry, but he doesn't tell you because maybe he grew up in an environment where when he said he's hungry, he got shouted at. I don't know, like it can be anything, but it's sort of like he protects himself from being in a situation where he's denied those needs by not saying it in the first place, and it's very subconscious. And the thoughts he's had but never expressed to you is the sort of overthinking and overanalyzing he's had about you and other people in his life. And it's not that you've done anything to show any disloyalty or anything like that, because he actually mentally and logically knows you're a trustworthy person, but it's almost like his subconscious brain feeds him these ideas that you're not. Do you get what I mean? But it's because of his past trauma and because of the brain trying to protect him from getting hurt again. Like, what if we're wrong? You know what I mean? So the brain is busy doing that. His mind's busy doing that, feeding him these ideas that are not true. And I think he hasn't expressed this to you because mentally, logically, he knows you're a trustworthy person. He knows you're being true and honest with him. Queen of Swords is a very honest person, right? But it's almost like his fear is telling him otherwise, and then he feels stuck in between that, and he has to he has to get out of it by logically thinking about it and not listening to the fear. And I do think he is dealing with this. I do think he is trying to heal this on his own, but I think because he's never had that support around him, when he is going through these things emotionally or mentally, and he does need that support, he never asks for it. He goes through it alone, but maybe he had to go through things alone emotionally. Maybe he never had anybody to have support him or anybody to rely on, to tell about his day or to tell about the things he's gone through or the things he's sad about. So it's almost like he goes through these things alone, wanting that support but never telling you. So I almost feel like when he wants something from you, he doesn't tell you, and it's a sort of self-sabotaging thing where he wants it but he never expresses it. So that is something I definitely see here within your pile. I do also think that you and this person have a lot of similarities, and this person admires the fact that you understand each other in some way. Like, you're very understanding towards this person. There's certain things he admires about your personality that he maybe hasn't expressed to you, but secretly admires within. He also thinks you're very smart and intelligent, and he loves the conversations with you. He loves the fact that you're a good communicator too. You often say the things he wants to say but would never say out of fear. It can be something as simple as, "Oh, I'm hungry, let's go here." And he was thinking at the same time, but never said that. Do you get what I mean? Something simple like that. It's a silly example, but it's like sometimes he's thinking something in the moment and then you just say it and he's like thinking in his mind, "Oh my gosh, I was just thinking that." Or maybe you're somebody that can be very honest. So let's say you have somebody in your life that does a certain thing and you're saying what everybody's thinking, but nobody's saying. And you're like, why is this person like this? And then he's almost thinking in his mind, I was thinking that too, but I never said that. Out of fear, I would look judgmental, but it's like, really, why is this person like this? I hope you get what I mean. But it's almost like you just say things that everybody else wouldn't say, but everybody else is thinking. And that's something he also admires about you, but has never expressed. He likes how outspoken you are, and he feels like he's mentally attracted to you. Like, when you see somebody very intelligent and you're attracted to their wisdom, to their intelligence, he has that towards you, but has never expressed that. And he also enjoys your conversations, like I said previously. We do have the Hierophant here. So a lot of the things he goes through emotionally, mentally, he tries to learn from it on his own. He tries to grow from it on his own and take the best from it. But sometimes he does want that support, but like I said, doesn't express when he needs that, because I think he's had to be strong on his own all his life, that he never knew that support is actually there. It's like when you've never gotten support, you don't actually know that support is actually there, that you can reach out to the person and ask for that. We do have the Emperor showing up next. We have the Knight of Wands. We have the Magician. We have the Empress. Okay, so another thing I see in terms of the thoughts he's had that he's never expressed is the fact that he feels you two are like a match made in heaven, I'm hearing. He feels like you two have a great compatibility within your personality traits that just match each other well. The Emperor and the Empress are divine counterparts within the tarot, and the fact that you have the Queen of Swords, King of Swords, regardless of gender, he just feels as though you are a match made in heaven. And I also see that there are certain ideas he has about the future that he wants with you that he has not either expressed or fully expressed. So if he has spoken to you about the future and the type of future he wants with you, he has not fully expressed everything he wants with you and how badly he wants that. And if he hasn't expressed that at all, he is having thoughts of the future between the two of you, ideas of what your future can look like and what he wants it to look like, what he wants to create here with you with the Magician. And I do sense for some of you, a lot of you, maybe not all of you, he does want kids in the future. And I think that he thinks you would be a great mother or parent with the Empress here. You'd be a very good parent in some way. And I think that's a thought that has come across his mind, but he's never expressed. Of course, there doesn't just have to be women watching, like I said, regardless of gender. It's just like he sees you as somebody that would be a good spouse, that would be a good parent as well, if you want kids, of course. Because the reason I say that is because the Empress is a card of fertility, a card of pregnancy, motherhood. So that's the reason I say that. And the Emperor is usually a very fatherly energy. So with the Knight of Wands here, it's like he wants to go towards this and he doesn't want to wait very long. But he is aware that he shouldn't rush through things because Temperance is coming out here. So he is aware that he shouldn't rush things. He should be patient when it comes to your future. You maybe both want together or that he wants with you, but he also doesn't want to wait too long to make things happen that he wants. So we have the Three of Wands. He has certain plans for the future for the both of you and for himself individual of the goals he has, the person he wants to become, the things he wants to create, the things he wants to achieve that he maybe hasn't expressed to you, but he's thinking of and pondering about and planning towards mentally. So maybe the reason why he hasn't told you yet is because I feel he's that type of person that doesn't want to be all talk. He wants to do something and achieve something before he talks about it and brags about it, you know what I mean? So that's kind of what I see here. I think a lot of his life, he's been painted as a mysterious person, but I think deep down, he isn't that mysterious. He just... Okay, so the way I'm seeing this is, for me, I grew up with people where it's like, I had a best friend in school and then we tell each other everything. You know, some people grow up where they have those people around them where they can tell that person everything. An example is my sister too. I grew up like that. But some people, they grow up in a way where they don't have anybody they can tell these things to. And so they think a lot of their life that they have to keep these thoughts to themselves, that they have to keep these ideas to themselves, that they have to keep their feelings to themselves. Nobody wants to hear about it. But it's almost like he doesn't try to be mysterious, but he comes across as mysterious because he's never had anybody to tell these things to that are on his mind. We have the Two of Cups. So if you feel, don't take it personally, like if you feel offended by this, that he hasn't told you some of these things. It's not that he doesn't want to tell you, it's just that he doesn't mentally know that he can tell you these things. That it's okay to tell you things that are on his mind, if that makes sense. We have the Empress. The Lovers. Why did I say the Empress again? So I feel like there's a lot of times with Aphrodite here, and also the Empress is a card of beauty. So Aphrodite is a goddess of beauty. It's almost like when he looks at you, sometimes he feels like you're so gorgeous, or you're so handsome, so attractive. And sometimes he doesn't give you those compliments, but he thinks it in his mind. So if your man is not that type of compliment type of person that gives them out all the time, I bet you that he's thinking it in his mind, but is maybe too shy to tell you, or doesn't actually come out of his mouth, but he's thinking it like, wow, they look so good. And I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 on the clock. So there's definitely something where he's progressing with something in life, but hasn't expressed it. Maybe it has to do with his healing journey. Maybe it has to do with how he wants to take steps towards you and your future and your love connection. With the Two of Cups, the Lovers, like the sort of plans for the future. But maybe sometimes he feels in his heart as though he loves you so much, but words cannot express how much he loves you. Even if he had to try, it wouldn't express the feeling he has for you. And that's what I see with the Two of Cups, the Lovers. So a lot of the times he wants to express his love for you, but doesn't know how to put the words together, or doesn't know what words to use. Or sometimes he just feels like the words don't do justice to the feeling he actually has within his heart for you. So I think this man truly loves you, but he doesn't always know how to express it with words. So this is what I see for you, pile number 1. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 2s. If you chose this orange calcite crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at the thoughts he's had about you that he has never expressed to you. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Before we get started, I have 2 things I'd like to say. If you enjoy tarot content, and if you want to keep up to date with what I post daily, then you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button. It does help my channel more than you know. Also, I do have a limited amount of space for personal readings available for this month. So if you'd like to book with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. So let's go ahead and shuffle your cards and see what comes up. Your card is the World. So Spirit Guides of pile number 2, Spirit Guides of pile number 2s. The thoughts he's had about pile 2 that he's never quite expressed. We have the Lovers. There's something about your beauty coming up, because Aphrodite is the goddess of beauty. And the first thing I noticed about this World card is her beauty. Like, she's gorgeous in this card. So there's something about your beauty, or your handsomeness, or your attractiveness that he's noticed but never fully expressed, or never expressed at all. How attracted he is to you, how you're the only one he sees. Because I'm hearing this song, want you to make me feel like I'm the only girl in the world, Rihanna. So it's almost like he only has eyes for you, and maybe he hasn't expressed that to you because he doesn't feel the need to. He thinks you already know. Since the High Priestess is at the back of the deck, He feels like you already know how beautiful you are. You already know how much he loves you with the lovers. So there's no need to tell it all the time. But I do think it could be nice to hear that from him, even if you do already mentally know. But it's almost like he thinks you already know that he only has eyes for you and that he doesn't need to say it all the time. Like, it will show through his actions. Okay. What he has thought about pile number 2 that he's never fully expressed or expressed at all: justice and the Tower, temperance, and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay, one thing about him or you, I don't know if this is a thought about himself or you, but there's something about like either him or you having or struggling with impatience. He's thought of that but never told you. Impatience when it comes to like opportunities and things we want, right? So I don't know if I'm picking up on him thinking that about himself or of you. And there's something about the truth of how he feels. And it's not bad, but like the truth of how he truly feels for you, like his emotions for you, his love for you. Because again, he thinks you already know how he feels. But like I said, it would be nice to hear that. You're probably listening to this because you want to hear those things. There's also something about things he's gone through. I don't think he's fully expressed all his traumas, all his pains. It's very hard for him to speak about those things, to speak about the things he's been through. And if he has told you some of it, I don't think he's fully opened up there. But not because he doesn't trust you, but just because I don't feel like he wants to focus on that too much. I do think that he is trying to grow and heal from this with the Temperance card and Gaia here. He is trying to find peace regarding whatever he's gone through, whatever has caused chaos within his emotions, but he's also aware that there's two sides to it. On one side, we can wallow in that pain forever and be like, oh, woe is me. On the other side, we can force ourselves to get over it and invalidate our feelings. And then there is a balanced middle where we accept the way we feel. We understand that we can't control the way we feel. We accept it, we feel the feeling, and then we let it go. So he is trying to find the middle balance of that, of feeling his feelings and being able to let them go without wallowing within them too much and without telling himself to just get over it. I do think he struggles with that balance in his emotions, but he hasn't exactly expressed that to you. But he is trying to grow from us on his own. He is trying to find peace. He's trying to be a little bit less chaotic. He's trying to get his life together in order, trying to grow as a person. And although he's been through some things, he's also trying to see life from a more optimistic or neutral perspective, instead of seeing it from the perspective of his heartbreak and pain. So that is something he has thought of, but has never expressed to you. And I don't know if this is thoughts of you. I think this is himself. But maybe the reason why it's coming through is because maybe it sort of affects your connection and you wonder why. Maybe there's something about him, you noticing these things within him, but him never expressing it to you, and you wonder where it comes from, and maybe that's why it's coming through, if it does affect your connection. But can we find out the thoughts about pile number 2 that he's had that he's never expressed, please, Spirit? We have the Hanged Man. We have the Ten of Swords. We have the Six of Swords. We have Judgment. And we have the Queen of Wands. So he thinks you're very powerful. He thinks you're very bold. He thinks you're very sexy too. And that you have a beautiful heart and soul, a wonderful personality. I think he really likes your personality traits. And he's also seen how you've grown and changed in your own way. It's taken you a long time to get where you are today. A lot of dedication to yourself. But maybe the reason why this came through about him is I do sense that you have inspired him to grow within his own way. And that's why that message about him came through as well, because maybe you've also had traumas of your own and you're healing from it. You're trying to understand it, gain a more positive perspective of the world, and not let your heartbreak taint your perspective of the world or of the life you could live, the beautiful life you could live. So, because you've been growing and transforming and changing, it has inspired him to do the same. So, he may have not expressed that he is so inspired by you, that the more you start to learn certain lessons and grow and just become a better person, become a better version of yourself, the more he wants to too, because he can see the results within you. He can see you glowing from the inside out. And it's like, he sees that you're doing a lot better mentally, emotionally, from your own healing journey. He sees that you're trying to grow spiritually, trying to understand yourself on a soul level, and he's trying to do the same. So I don't think it's just with the healing journey, but with other things as well. Like, you've inspired him in some way and he's following in your footsteps, but he's never expressed that to you in terms of how inspiring you are. We do have the sun at the back of the deck. I'm going to put it here though, because I feel like it goes with a crystal, like that kind of vibe. So maybe he's never expressed to you how happy he truly is with you. But, you know, even if he doesn't show it on his face, like, he is very happy to be with you. He is very happy in your connection. And you bring so much sunshine, so much positive energy within it, into his life. Even when he's had a bad day, it's like you just brighten up his day, you just cheer him up. You make his life so much more colorful, so much more positive. And I think he's never expressed the appreciation he's had for you fully and how happy he is fully. We have the Eight of Wands showing up next. We have the Ace of Cups, the King of Cups, and we have the Emperor. So I think there's a lot of deep feelings he has for you that he hasn't expressed or fully expressed. Why is that? Okay, so what Spirit is also showing me when it comes to him, he doesn't seem like an emotional person, but he does have a lot of emotions. And I think it's due to not feeling like he could express it in his upbringing. Because I'm seeing the Three of Swords come out, the Page of Pentacles, which to me represents the inner child, the Nine of Swords, and the Seven of Swords. So maybe he grew up around people that didn't fully allow him to express his emotions, shamed his emotions. So maybe now he feels scared to do so, because as a child he never felt safe to express his feelings and emotions, and he felt fear around the criticism of that or the shame for that. So now subconsciously he wants to do it, but it's almost like he doesn't. But we do have the Strength card at the back of the deck, so I do feel like he is very strong emotionally, but yeah, I think he just needs to become more aware of it so that he can become more comfortable, so that there can be a safe space created for his emotions too. Because I'm sure you probably want to hear what he feels, you know? I'm hearing that he's very proud of you, and he hasn't expressed how proud he is of you. He thinks you can achieve a lot. He thinks you can have a lot of success within different aspects of life. And he thinks that you're positively adding and impacting his life in a good way. He also thinks that you're a very action-orientated person. Like when you want something, you take action towards it, and you're happy doing so. You're not just doing it to do it, but you're happy doing that task. So he admires that about you, and he hasn't expressed that. What else, Spirit? We have the Four of Cups and the Magician, the Chariot, and the Ten of Wands. A lot of the times when it comes to things he's wanted to do or achieve, a lot of the time his own internal doubt has stopped him from actually taking action, taking the first step. It does root back to the self-worth, because I feel it within my solar plexus. And I actually think that you are healing your self-concept, how you view yourself, the way you think of yourself, the way you value yourself. You're healing your self-worth, and maybe he is too. And maybe this connection is healing the self-worth, teaching both of you that you are valuable, that you are enough, you know what I mean? So maybe this connection, it's like you're both leading each other into the right direction. And he's thought about that. He's thought about the fact that the more he's with you, the more he notices himself improving and becoming a better person, because you're so inspiring to him. And, sometimes when he feels like giving up on something he wants, when he notices there is no result yet, he looks at you and maybe how patient you are, or how you don't give up on the things you want, or he sees how you've achieved certain things, but maybe it took time for you to get there. In terms of whatever you've wished for or wanted or manifested, and it doesn't just have to be career-wise, but I'm thinking more career because Queen of Pentacles is at the back of the deck. But it's almost like in those moments where he doubts himself, he tries not to, because maybe he remembers times you've believed in him when he didn't believe in himself or doubted himself. It's almost like he has your voice in his mind, uplifting him, cheering him up, telling him he can do it, telling him he is good enough, telling him to not give up. So whenever he wants something and it's a little bit of a challenge getting that thing he wants from the universe in terms of his manifestations, it's like you are that inspiration that tells him to not give up. I think he also looks at you and the things you've created, the things you've achieved, how you've overcome certain things, and he just looks at you in awe. He thinks of you as such an angel, someone with such a pure soul, someone so gentle, and you bring so much peace into his life. I think your love is healing in some way. So next we have the Ten of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, and we have the High Priestess. So one thing he's thought about you but has never expressed is wanting to give you certain things but not knowing if that's something you would like. So I'll just use a silly example. Let's say he wants to get you a present, but he doesn't know if you'd like it or not. And he doesn't want to ask you because maybe he doesn't want to ruin the surprise, but he's also scared of you not liking the gift. That's an example to the energy. It's like sometimes he wants to give certain things to you, but he's scared of asking you if you want that, if you need that, or if you want that. And then sometimes he just has to go with his gut feeling with the High Priestess. So Six of Pentacles is about generosity. Ten of Cups is basically the love you two share. Also like sharing his emotions, Because I do think he feels as though you two have a very deep emotional bond, a very beautiful, pure emotional bond. Like that pure type of connection where he'll always trust you, but he doesn't always express or give to you those emotions he has or show those emotions he has. Um, and sometimes he just wants to be generous with you, but he doesn't always know what you want. I think a lot of the times he's very curious about you and what would make you happy and what would bring you peace within the connection, what would make you happy, what you want out of the connection. But I think sometimes he's scared of asking because he doesn't want you to think that he doesn't pay attention to those things, you know? So this is what I have for you, pile 2. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hi there, my pile number 3s. If you chose this rose quartz crystal, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at the thoughts he's had about you that he's never expressed. So please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Before we get started, I just have 2 things I'd like to say. If you want to stay up to date with what I post daily, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button. It does help my channel more than you know. Also, I do have a limited amount of space for personal readings available this month, so if you'd like to book with me, you can find my email address in the description box below. So we're starting off your reading at 111 on the clock, and I saw your spirit guides very strongly around, so I feel like they're very present during this reading. So your card is the Knight of Swords. Let's see what else comes up for you. Spirit guides of pile number 3s. Spirit guides of pile number 3s. So this card fell on my lap. The Page of Wands in reverse. The thoughts he's had of pile 3 but is never expressed. Queen of Wands. The thoughts he's had about pile 3 that he's never expressed. The Star. The Fool. And the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so this came up in all 3 piles, but it is something I see for your pile as well. So I think it's something that that's coming up within all 3 piles for a reason. Maybe there's just something about this being a collective thing. But I feel him being very attracted to you, seeing you as somebody that is like a star, somebody that shines so brightly. And you have a lot of confidence in yourself that you've tried to build over the years. You shine so bright and you try to not dim your light. You are very authentic to yourself, and that is sexy to him. And there's just something about your attractiveness that he doesn't fully express how attracted he is to you, but I think that's just maybe something that's happening collectively where people feel a certain way but aren't fully expressing it. And another thing I see here is sometimes he wants to try new ways of giving to you. So let's say he always gives to you in a certain way and he's consistently been doing so for a long period of time. But now he wants to try something new and try a different way of giving to you, or try giving you something new he's never given you before. But then he doesn't always know if you will like that or if you'll want that thing that he's been doing consistently. So it's a thing of like him not always knowing what you want. Sometimes he wants to give to you, but he doesn't always know if you want that or not. And then I think he's very shy of asking what you want. I'm also seeing there's a lot of not PG friendly kind of thoughts he's had about you that he's never expressed. So maybe fantasies he's had of you, like more erotic fantasies, and he hasn't expressed that to you. Sometimes he also wonders, like, how he can pleasure you more in the bedroom, like, what he can do for you. But he doesn't always know how to ask. Another thing I also see here is he thinks you're very attractive, where when you go out in public, he can see other people looking at you, maybe even other men looking at you or desiring you, finding you sexy. And he does get a little bit jealous, but he also doesn't want to be a controlling man. He doesn't want to be that type of man that, tries to make you not attractive to other people, because he knows that okay, if he's with you, he trusts you. I think he hasn't expressed to you how much he trusts you, but that he does still get jealous when other people look at you in a way of desiring you. You get what I mean? So I do sense that from the cards and from the energies. And somehow you make him nervous, but he hasn't expressed that to you. But in a good way. Like when you get nervous in front of your crush, as an example, it's like a good kind of nervous. I also see that he has a lot of hope for the future in terms of what your connection could grow into or transform into or become more of in a good way. He sees this connection working in the long run since the Knight of Pentacles is at the back of the deck. And he hasn't exactly expressed to you that he feels so much hope and optimism for the future. Sometimes he stares at you when you're looking away and admires you, but doesn't tell you the things he's admiring. I also think that sometimes he wants to do certain fun things with you. Like, let's just say, for example, one day he's sitting and thinking, I would really love to go to the movies with Pile 3, but I don't really know if Pile 3 would enjoy that. So then he doesn't ask. But sometimes, like, he wants to do certain fun things, but he doesn't know if you would find that fun, and then he doesn't ask or express that. I think there's also something here about wanting to praise you in certain situations, because you are somebody that really takes leaps of faith towards the things you want, the things you wish for with the star, the things you really want to move towards. And you're kind of like unstoppable, very powerful, where when you really want something, nothing's going to stop you from getting or achieving that goal. And even during times when you don't feel as motivated or as optimistic or passionate about it, you still show up anyway and still do what you need to do, and take care of all your responsibilities. You're very brave and courageous, and yeah, when you really want something, you just go after it. And it seems like you don't really have any fears holding you back. And I think he wants to compliment you on that, but hasn't expressed that. He also likes the fact that you put in a lot of effort into the things you want, into the things like your connections. And he loves that about you, but he hasn't expressed that. He loves the fact that you're able to take risks too. So we have the Empress and the Eight of Wands. So the thing about you is you're a very action-orientated person, yet you also have this go with the flow, peaceful type of energy. So you're very motivating to be around because you get things done, you move towards the things you want to do. But you also have a balance here where you make time for rest, for other things in your life. You're maybe that type of person that's very nurturing, very loving, very graceful, and he really likes that about you, but he hasn't expressed that. Sometimes he wants to chase after you, like he feels this need to chase after you, to sort of please you in some way, but he doesn't always tell you how much he wants to do that. I'm seeing something about wanting to get matching tattoos for somebody. I just saw that clairvoyantly. I don't think that's for everybody, but for somebody here. You'll know if it's your message, because you'll know if your person doesn't like tattoos or likes tattoos. And another thing I see here is he likes the fact that you have balance. Like, of course, you still go towards your goals, but you also make time for your connections, for your emotional, mental health, for you to just be and not do, for your rest, things like that. So he likes that balance you have. How you're not too much in one energy, in one extreme. You kind of flow between that. And he likes that about you. So next we have the Queen of Cups. So he has thought that you're somebody with a very big heart, with a very compassionate, empathetic heart. You really care for those you love, and you make sure to be a trustworthy person for those you love. So I think that's a thought he's had of you but never expressed. We have the Knight of Wands. We have Justice. I bit my tongue when I pulled this card and it really hurt. But biting your tongue represents wanting to say something and not saying it. So we have the King of Cups that came out with that. And that is also a theme within all three piles, I think. Or I think it came up within another pile, but I think that's also a theme within the collective. So he's had certain feelings for you that he hasn't fully expressed, the truth of how he feels, all his feelings. And even if he's expressed some of it, he hasn't fully expressed everything, like how he really, really feels about you. He feels that your connection and your emotions towards each other is reciprocated with justice here. It's like you're both on the same page, and he has wanted to express that to you but hasn't. Why is that? So I'm seeing that sometimes he feels stuck, not knowing how to speak about his emotions. So, for example, let's say I'm feeling something, but I don't know what words to use to describe how I feel. But then I listen to a song and somebody is describing the exact way I feel, and I could have never put that into words. I'm kind of using that as an example of what I'm seeing here. Sometimes he feels stuck where he doesn't know what word to describe the emotion he feels. He doesn't know how to put it into words and kind of feels stuck. But I also see something from his past could be affecting him because the Six of Cups is at the back of the deck. I'm not sure what exactly. So we have the Three of Swords. I think this relates to what we spoke about, Four of Pentacles reversed, and the Ten of Swords. So maybe in the past he has expressed his emotions to people, but people didn't truly listen or didn't care. Like, let's say he was healing from something or going through some kind of heartbreak or some kind of like thing that was hurting him. And it was really, really hurting him, but the other person didn't really care, or people around him didn't really support him through that emotion. And then he just subconsciously learned that he shouldn't share those things, that like nobody cares about his feelings anyway. Like that's what he subconsciously thinks. That's his perspective with the Hangman. But I think you do care. I think you do care enough to hear that. We have the Nine of Swords. So yeah, it's fears of like the other person not caring or like being a burden as well. Okay, so Spirit Guides of Pile 3. Is there anything else here? So we have the Hierophant in the reverse. We have the Chariot. We have the Tower. The Knight of Pentacles. Death, Six of Swords, and the World. So there are some things that have happened within his family that he hasn't expressed to you. I think he does have some toxic family members, if I'm going to be honest, because 10 of Pentacles is here, the 7 of Swords, and the Devil. So to me, this reads as like, with all the cards I'm seeing here, let's say he has pain from childhood. And I don't know, that comes up within my readings a lot. Maybe the inner child is healing for the collective. Maybe the collective is going through inner child healing. And I think a lot of people do have trauma. And trauma isn't always just something bad happening to you. It's also something about like not getting maybe the love you wanted or the care you wanted. So it can be anything. But I think for a lot of the people watching, whoever you're asking about, he has some type of family pain here from his family being toxic in some way. 7 of Swords, the Devil, yeah. But it's almost like he doesn't want to tell you these things because he still, he like wants to protect his family in a way, and he doesn't want you to look at them in a negative light. But I am seeing that. So with the Hierophant in the reverse, it's kind of like he doesn't understand why he went through these things. He doesn't know how to learn from this experience and how to overcome it. Things that have already happened that are no longer in his reality but still affect him emotionally. So although his reality has changed completely and he's no longer in that situation, it still affects his emotions, and he hasn't fully let go of like his pain and things like that emotionally. So I don't think he's fully expressed everything he's been through to you, because some of the people he'd speak about, he'd be painting in a negative light, and he doesn't want you to see them in a negative light. I don't know. There's just something about that where he either hasn't at all told you about the things he's been through, or he hasn't fully told you everything he's been through. So I think he's scared of telling you, not because of you, but I think he's just scared about opening up about these things because those emotions come back when you like speak about it. It takes a lot of courage to speak about like very difficult emotions. So that is what I see here. I really hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.